Hey there. Welcome back to our first episode of our winter quarter season of the Daily's Double Shot. I'm Austin Siedentoff.
And I'm Marina Taylor. We've got a great episode for you today. First, we investigate Ty Tom and why some call it the jewel of the U District.
Then we'll take a look at the Plastics Unwrapped exhibit at the Henry Art Gallery.
David Crispin will discuss the waning importance of the Oscars in film focus.
We'll learn about some projects in alternative energy going on with fusion cells.
Have you been keeping your New Year's resolutions? Austin Siedentoff hits the quad to find out.
Don't talk about me like I'm not here. And last up, we'll peer into the life of a Jimmy John's delivery cyclist.
All this and more coming up
on the Daily's Double Shot.
Ooh, what is that? Try to be nice.
Yeah.
I'll see you there.
Okay.
Ask around and some people will tell you that Ty Tom is the best Thai food in the U District.
It's even called the jewel of the U District. But what is the key to the restaurant's success?
We spoke with the head chef to find out.
It's another cold and rainy night on the Ave, but crowds still seem to gather outside one small restaurant. Hailed the jewel of the U District, Ty Tom has been serving up authentic Thai food for over 18 years. Curious as to what draws the masses to gather night after night, rain or shine, we took to the streets to find out. UW student Jake Davidson explains.
My friends and I were studying, and we thought, let's go get some awesome Thai Toms. Compared to the other Thai restaurants on the Ave, I believe Thai Tom's is by far the best. I think the head chef is so much fun to watch. I mean, any of the chefs are awesome to watch because they're just working with their hands and fast-paced, and they're like a cohesive unit. My favorite dish is the swimming rama.
Many Ty Tom fans attribute its success to head chef Jacris Katsansky. Born and raised in Thailand, Katsansky developed his knowledge of Thai food through his family's experiences in the restaurant business.
We had a restaurant down in Thailand, which is my family business, and I used to help them a lot after school or on a day off, something like that. Help go inside the kitchen and looking at my mom's cooking, and it's kind of interesting. It's art, and I can apply a lot of things from what I learned from school and put into the cooking.
Aside from his wealth of knowledge and experience cooking Thai food, Katsansky and other Thai Tom workers practice meditation to help keep focused in a busy environment.
We are really busy, as you know. So I have to practice something new that fit me, keep me focusing on what I'm doing. So that was really meditation. Does a really good work on me, for me to focus, to organize the order, to run the business,
Katsansky explains that meditation acquires all 5 of his senses, and that along with the smells, tastes, sights, and touch of Thai food, he plays a personalized playlist of songs to please his ears while cooking. Perhaps this is the secret behind Ty Tom's success.
It's definitely the best on the Ave. I think they do a good job making really authentic Thai food. It's the closest Thai food I've had to Thailand. I've been to Bangkok before.
It's no question why Ty Tom has had great success. To check out Jacris and his team, head to Ty Tom on the corner of University Way and 47th. And in case you were wondering, Jacris' choice of music, Jack Johnson Pandora.
Man, I wish I'd been on that shoot. I would have gotten some pad thai.
Up next, to take a look at the Plastics Unwrapped Gallery in the Henry and see if we can't discern its message about plastics.
Plastics Unwrapped is an exhibit held by the Burke Museum to explore the influence of plastics on our world. The exhibit brings us even closer to plastics as the essential material in our daily life than the way we have been seeing them and using them every day. From December the 20th to May the 27th, Plastics Unwrapped invites us to rethink our relationship with plastics, considering objectively about both its positive and negative effects.
Here at the Burke, we've done a series of exhibits that take an everyday consumer product and look at it from a variety of interesting and often surprising perspectives. In terms of plastic, we examine the chemistry, of plastic that makes them so very valuable because they're long-lasting, but at the same time they can be a problem because they're long-lasting.
The exhibit also put on display several kinds of plastic waste in the same quantity as those produced in America every second. For example, 1,500 water bottles are used in America every second. 650 pounds of plastic packagings are generated every second. And 3,000 plastic bags are used in a quarter second. The exhibit developer also shares with us their inspirations of holding plastics unwrapped.
Well, this was a very fascinating exhibit to develop because plastics are so ubiquitous in our lives and we really take them for granted and we have a lot of misperceptions about them. As the State Museum of Natural and Cultural Heritage, we were interested, first of all, to begin by asking the question, what in the world did we do before plastics? And we tried to put ourselves into the minds of people, of Americans, when plastics were really new in our lives, right after World War II in the 1950s, and remember how exciting these products once were because they seemed to solve so many problems for us.
If you want to discover more about plastics or simply visit the exhibit, Andrea Godinez from the Burke Museum has this to say.
I'd highly recommend coming to check it out because plastics is something that's so involved in all of our lives. And just thinking about this material that's around us every day in a new way, and thinking about having that conversation with each other and with ourselves about the best ways we can really continue to use plastic for the great things that it is, but also reduce the negative impacts in ways that make sense for each of us, I think is a really important question to be asking. Here at the Burke, we are also not only the Washington State Museum, but we are a part of the University of Washington. So this exhibit was also created in partnership with many people who are professors here at UW. And as the Burke, we're also always a free resource for UW students.
We use a lot of plastic, don't we?
Yes, we do. Up next, David Chrisman gives his opinion on why the importance of the Oscars is dwindling.
Coming up on Film Focus.
Hello, my name is David Chrisman, and welcome to Film Focus. It's nearing the end of January now, and in the film industry that means one thing, awards season. And no award ceremony is bigger than the Academy Awards. That's right. Today, we're going to talk about the Oscars. First things first, this isn't about who got nominated or what the favorites are. It's pretty easy to see those just from looking at the list of what films got nominated. Instead, I want to talk about the rules for the Academy Awards, what the problems with them are, and at the end of the day, what can you do about it? The Oscars have been in existence since 1929, and they are presented by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, the nebulous Academy that you hear about in every acceptance speech, ever. So what is the Academy? Well, to put it simply, the Academy is an organization made up of people that work in the film industry, and you only get to join the club if they ask you to join. So how many people make up this group that decides what movies are the best in a given year? Well, it's about 6,000 members. The Academy doesn't release the exact number of people or their names. To be nominated, a film must run for 1 week of the year the awards are being given for, in one theater in Los Angeles. This means it's very possible that almost nobody could have seen a film and have it nominated and maybe even win. In the past few years, you've probably heard a lot of criticism about the Oscars, and you think that might be a pretty recent phenomenon. However, negativity towards the awards has been around for a while. William Friedkin, director of The Exorcist and Best Picture winner of The French Connection, once called the Academy Awards the greatest promotion scheme that any industry ever devised for itself. This negativity towards the Oscars among those being honored is not a single instance, with both George Scott refusing his award for Best Actor in Patton, and Marlon Brando refusing the Best Actor award for one of the all-time greatest film roles, Don Vito Corleone in The Godfather. In fact, the first Academy Award to be refused was all the way back in 1935. So if you aren't happy about the Oscars, you're not the first, and you're not alone. But what if you think the Academy Awards are a good way to tell what the best things are to watch? A way to suggest what's worth your time. Fortunately, there's a better way to see the best films and stay up on the latest things in movies. The film festival season. In the past 10 years, film festivals have been getting bigger and bigger. and they're a great way to explore more movies that you might not see otherwise. The Seattle International Film Festival, hosted in our very own city, is, well, not the best example, a local option. If you're really into film, then Sundance or the Toronto International Film Festival are the places to be. Even if you can't go to a festival, just look up what's winning awards and what's being talked about on the festival circuit to pick up on the best upcoming films the next year. So at the end of the day, what can you do to change the way the film industry does things? Well, in my mind, there's two things. The first and most obvious is don't watch the award ceremony. In a month, on February 24th, instead of getting together with your friends and watching the Oscars, hold your own little film festival. Everyone brings their favorite movie and make a day of it. Instead of watching people talk about movies, actually watch some good films. The other thing you can do is don't go out and watch something just because it won an award or might win an award. You may not be able to vote for the Academy Awards, but you can vote with your wallet. Thank you for joining me. I'm David Chrisman, and I'll see you next time on Film Focus.
Thanks for the insight, David.
Up next, we'll take a look at some of the work that UW researchers have done in alternative energy with fusion cells.
With resources becoming low in the world, the need for an alternative energy source is crucial, and more sources are being sought out. Fusion cell energy is a new alternative energy source scientists are beginning to look at. At the UW and at the MSNW Fusion Lab in Redmond, Washington, a team of researchers are building what they call a fusion engine to test this potentially valuable new source.
Well, we're running out of energy sources, and there are, not very good ways of producing energy right now that are carbon-based. So for the future of the planet, it's very important that we discover an alternative energy source, and fusion energy is the primary candidate that can meet all the demands that we'll have in the future.
Professors like Fumio Fuji and John Slough are analyzing these experiments to try and understand how the material is interacting and behaving under high-density plasmas. At high temperatures, material can be unstable, so understanding these mechanisms and finding the right material is important.
Problem is, what kind of material can actually do that. So that's we actually working on. The material is the one to decide what this success or not.
Even though there are many problems to be ironed out, a big advantage to this new energy source is that you can set up a device or facility in a local area, and without any infrastructure, it can generate electricity by itself. When looking at the results of the experiments, Dr. George Vacherbeck had this to say.
If the results show very promising scaling relations that prove that as we scale this up that we will get favorable fusion energy gain, then in short term, like 10, 20 years, we can move quickly forward to developing a fusion energy reactor and put those out into the world generating electricity.
One goal of the experiments is to make sure you can get more energy out than you put in. Once successful, the group of researchers will move on to the next step.
The next step would be to increase the size of the device. That's all that would be necessary in order to have a commercially viable energy source.
Once the energy source has become a commercial device, the goal is to make it more affordable. But until then, George, Fumio, John, and other researchers will be focused now on technologies that are needed in order to turn it into a reactor and an energy source for electricity.
So Austin, what's up next?
Well, we're approaching the end of the month, and I wanted to see if people were keeping up with their New Year's resolutions, so I asked around.
Well, let's check it out.
Hey there, my name is Austin Siedentopf. We all know that New Year's resolutions can be difficult to keep, which is why as we approach the end of January, we're out here in the quad to ask students if they've been able to keep the promises that they made to themselves about a month ago. Let's find out. Tessa, did you have a New Year's resolution this year?
I did.
And how's it going?
It's going okay, kind of.
What was it?
It was to swim a couple times a week and get more exercise.
And how's that going?
Well, I've done it a couple weeks. I did it this week.
My New Year's resolution was to lose weight, so I actually ordered the Insanity workout. It hasn't arrived yet, but I really want to do it, and I'm excited. I heard it's really hard to do. So I'm pretty excited because I heard in 2 months, like, you get really good results. So.
But my goal is really to try my best to spend the time that I spend or the money that I spend on TV and video games and all that stuff to spend that on outdoor equipment or outdoor activities. So I got back into playing soccer in Washington State Soccer League, and yeah, so now I play right here at Green Lake.
Claire, could you please tell us if you have a New Year's resolution, and if so, what it is?
I do not have a New Year's resolution.
You do not. And why is that?
Because honestly, I don't think one day is going to make you change your entire life.
So you said that just because the year turned, that's not a reason to make an effort to better yourself. What about jumping on sort of the social trend that happens? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, but social trends are social trends. I mean, if people feel the need to try and verify their existence by jumping on bandwagons, then they can do that. I didn't really see the point. I've done it before, but I mean, 12 turned to 13. That's it. Whatever.
My New Year's resolution is to learn Russian a little bit better than I currently know it.
I guess the reason why I don't make a big New Year's resolution over little small resolutions throughout the year is because I think it's a lot more likely that I'll stick to my smaller ones, because a big one is a little bit too much of a change.
So Adelie, did you have a New Year's resolution?
Yes,
What was it?
to run a marathon this year.
Wow. And how's that going for you so far?
It's been going well. I mean, the marathon's not for another couple months, but I'm training for a half marathon first before I actually run the full marathon. So it's been all right, kind of tough, but doable. So.
And how's training going?
It's going well. I run like 2 5Ks a week, and then on Saturday I run like a really long run. So. Yeah.
That's incredible. I can't run more than like 2 miles. So good on you. Is there anything else you'd like to say about your resolution? Why a marathon?
Why marathon? Well, the marathon that I'll be running this year is actually on my 20th birthday. So just like, I think it's kind of an incredible achievement to run like a marathon on like your 20th birthday. So I kind of want to look back on that and just see how much how much training I had to do in order to accomplish that goal. So
It'll be quite the landmark. Thank you, Adelie. Well, opinions and promises are mixed. I guess the question remains, can a decision you make on one day really change the rest of your life? So Marina, have you kept your New Year's resolution?
Oh, haha. Up next, we peer into the life of a Jimmy John's delivery boy and hear about some of their interesting stories.
You may have heard some of their stories. You may have requested their services before. You may even know one. But there is no doubt that you have seen a Jimmy John's delivery cyclist dressed in resplendent black and red, pedaling somewhere around the U District. We had the opportunity to speak with local Jimmy John's store manager Anthony Lucero and driver John Kingma to get their impressions of the U District and learn a little bit about the strange things that happen on the job.
I'd say the U District, just so the high concentration of college kids, not only delivering to college kids, but also having to manage just college kids, just makes it a lot harder. You know, Seattle in particular, Seattle kind of has a reputation of being like a stoner city almost, especially with the new law that just went into effect where it's legal now to smoke.
Usually everyone's very nice. I've had offers to come join parties when you ride at night up at the frats. Everyone there is quite friendly.
But between a safe, warm workplace and a home for each sandwich lie steep hills, students with headphones, and lots of cars, all looking to slow these drivers down.
Well, one time a guy has charged me down the road, swerving in and out, trying to drive me off the road while yelling at me. And then another time he jumped out of a car, a similar looking guy, might actually have been the same guy, months later, jumped out of his car and started screaming, "I will kill you. I will blank kill you," over and over and over again. I believed him, but I was on a bike and he was on foot, so.
And when asked about some of the stranger things they've seen, both Lucero and Kingma had plenty to tell. Offers of alcohol, tokes for tips, as Kingma says, and everything short of sex are stories most drivers have. While not often, some drivers have even delivered a little extra.
Cases when I personally delivered a milkshake to someone who asked for it by request, stopped and got a milkshake on the way to a delivery. Milkshakes, lighters. Somebody wanted a package of cigarettes, but I don't think they got those.
It turns out they did.
Someone called and asked if our driver could pick up a pack of cigarettes on the way to the delivery, and I kind of just passed that message along. And the driver actually did it, and when he got there, the guy gave him money for the sandwich, the cigarettes, plus like a $10 tip. So it was kind of worth it, but it's like not something we do, so don't try asking for that kind of stuff.
So while special requests certainly aren't encouraged, sometimes it doesn't hurt to ask. One especially daring customer got an especially daring response.
They asked me to deliver to them, and they were on a moving boat, so I had to go to the Montlake Bridge and throw a sandwich bag off the bridge to them. And I'm the one that actually made that delivery. They actually recorded it. It's on YouTube now, and if you just YouTube Jimmy John's greatest delivery, you'll see it, and it's pretty amazing. Jimmy John didn't like it. They posted it to Jimmy John's Facebook, and they took it down within like 5 minutes of it being up. But I kind of reposted it, and they haven't taken it down yet.
They're fast, fun, and always happy to get you a meal. But next time you're hungry, make sure you don't lose that bet. Otherwise, you'll be another one of those stories to pass around the sandwich shop.
Well, that's all we got for you today.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you with new content on February 8th.
In the meantime, you can check us out on our new webpage, dailyuw.com/doubleshot. Take it easy, and we'll see you next time
on the Daily's Double Shot.